There are two sets of straighteners on the machine. Facing the machine and looking left to right, the external straighteners closest to the coiled stock are for adjusting the bar in and away from the face of the machine on the horizontal plane. The second internal set of straighteners adjust the bar up and down on the face of the machine on the vertical plane. There are two gearboxes and two fine adjustments on each straightener. They can be adjusted using the air ratchet supplied with the machine. The straightener setting can then be saved and recalled. At the top of the screen, you will see the straightening icon. The icon will appear red if the straightener settings do not match the saved setup, yellow if they are slightly off the saved setup, and green if the settings match the saved setup. Touch the icon to enter the straightener setting page. The external straightener settings are listed at the top of the page. Left and right refer to the two gearboxes on the external straightener, and top and bottom refer to the fine adjustment settings on the external straightener. The internal straightener settings are listed at the bottom of the page. Left and right refer to the two gearboxes on the internal straightener, and front and back refer to the fine adjustment settings on the internal straightener. When loading a new coil, loosen all the wheels on both the external horizontal plane and internal vertical plane straighteners, including the fine tuning rolls. In general, work from left to right. Start with the external horizontal plane. Make sure both fine tuning rolls are out of the way. Bring the external straightening rolls down so they are just touching the bar and the bar is seated in the groove. Apply just enough pressure so the rolls no longer spin freely. Then, adjust the internal vertical plane straightener. Bring the internal straightening rolls down so they are just touching the bar and the bar is seated in the groove. Apply just enough pressure so the rolls no longer spin freely. You may need to jog the bar back and forth to seat the coil properly in the wheel grooves. Check that the wheels are still snug. Adjust as necessary. This is your starting point. Mark the ends with spray paint or a chalk mark. This way, you will know where you should start to see your adjustments when it has passed through both sets of rolls. Use the manual feed from the controls to drive the bar through until you see your paint mark. Observe the strands and determine which adjustments need to be made. Focus on the bar closest to the machine face first. Work from left to right and use the first set of rolls on the external to make the adjustments. Less is more. You don't want to over-tighten ever. Mark the ends with spray paint or a chalk mark. Use the manual feed from the controls to drive the bar through until you see your paint mark. Observe the strands and determine which adjustments need to be made. Once the bar closest to the machine is adjusted on the external horizontal plane, then adjust the internal vertical plane straightener. Work left to right with more pressure on the first set of rolls. Again, less is more. You don't want to over-tighten. Mark the ends with spray paint or a chalk mark. Use the manual feed from the controls to drive the bar through until you see your paint mark. Observe the strands and determine which adjustments need to be made. Once the bar closest to the face of the machine is close, then work left to right to adjust the bar furthest away from the machine face. Here is where you start to use the fine-tuning adjustments. In this example, the bar further from the face of the machine is looking pretty good, but the back bar is curving away from the face of the machine. Engage the fine-tuning rolls so they are just touching the bar. Then use the fine-tuning adjustments to make small adjustments to tweak straightness. In this example, we need to further adjust the back bar to go into the face of the machine. Be careful not to over-adjust on the fine-tuning roll. On the external fine-tuning assembly, turn clockwise to move the bar away from the face, and counterclockwise to move the bar into the face. Then engage the internal vertical plane straighteners so it's just touching the bar. In this example, we will adjust the fine-tuning roll closest to the machine to bump the bar up. On the internal fine-tuning assembly, turn clockwise to move the bar up, and counterclockwise to move the bar down. Touch the Save Current Readings as New.